We, the people, will no longer tolerate representatives and senators who are unresponsive to the demands of their constituency. We want men and women in Congress who have the courage to stand against the tide of liberal spending and do what we sent them there to do. I believe that the Internal Revenue Service should be disbanded and enact a fair tax or flat tax so that everybody, including Tim Geithner, is sure to pay his fair share. And if we refuse to control immigration, at least under the fair tax law, we would immediately have 12 million new taxpayers on the books through illegal immigration. A nation cried for change, and that's all we may have left. After this administration is through fleecing us with new taxes to pay for bigger government and more government programs that work just about as well as defective toys made in China. And just like those toys, we need a recall for defective government policies and politicians. We need to secure our freedom by controlling the borders. Illegal immigrants enjoy the best free medical care in the world. They're encouraged to attend our colleges and universities with little or no tuition. They are given American citizenship, welfare checks, and financial aid simply because they crossed the border just in time to give birth. I love this West Texas win. And as unemployment continues to rise, the 12 million jobs currently being held by illegals are beginning to look better and better to those Americans that are losing theirs. It's easier to cross into this country illegally than it is to buy a beer at Walmart. Our federal government is responsible for bringing this nation to the edge of a great yawning precipice, and it threatens to swallow not only our future, but that of our children. It threatens the very foundations of our democracy and belief. It's up to us to stop the madness in Washington. A cord of many strands is not easily broken. We need to stand shoulder to shoulder and make our conservative voice heard. The silent majority is now awake. It's not the job of Rush Limbaugh. It's not the job of Sean Hannity or Glenn Beck or any other single American. It takes each one of us saying the same thing at the same time and putting a vote behind our voice. We now live in an America that can't distinguish right from wrong. We live in an America that has slaughtered enough innocent children through abortion that it would make Adolf Hitler blush. We live in a country that has to define marriage because the liberal mentality simply doesn't know what the definition of is. There's a legion of unborn Americans waiting to see the turn of the tide in this country for their sake. They're waiting to see what kind of a nation they'll discover when they make their little entrance into this world. What are we going to tell them if we don't act now? How will we excuse ourselves if we fail to be heard? This country has endured many storms. We've survived the division brought about by the Civil War. We repented for the abomination of slavery. We've brought about social equality and worked through the civil unrest of the 1960s. America has lived through the sorrows of war and the police action in Vietnam. We went on to fight in Korea and 2 world wars. We freed those who desired freedom. We crushed the head of communism, and we defeated dictators. In short, America has been the gold standard for the world. Both all politically, religiously, socially, financially, morally. And I, for one, don't want to see that change. I still view our military with pride and respect. I still cry when they sing the national anthem. I love to hear children recite the Pledge of Allegiance. When I see the Texas and the United States flag flying straight out in the West Texas wind, I'm proud to be an American. I'm proud of our past. I'm concerned about the present, but I'm dedicated to the success of our future. The strength of this country has always come from its people, men who could not be bought, and women who were beyond purchase. This is a most critical time in our nation. I'll end by telling you this. There was a Vietnam veteran who shared this story with me. While he was a prisoner of war, he was kept in a small cage in which he could only squat. Barbs met his back upon trying to rise up. He was kept in this condition for several weeks until finally being rescued. Even though his cage had been opened by his rescuers, he could not stand up. He had to be carried to the waiting helicopter. As he lay recovering in a veteran's hospital, he fell out of bed one night, and the nurses rushed in to find him standing there, steadying himself with a chair. The nurse was very upset. "Oh, my goodness, are you all right?" He said, "Yes, ma'am, I'm fine. I just simply forgot how tall I really was." America, don't ever forget how tall we really are. We need to stand up against the tide. Take up arms if necessary. But as for me and my house, I choose to cling to my guns and to my religion. And nothing this government or any government can do will ever change it. God bless Texas, and God bless America.
That's pretty hard to follow, isn't it?